A pleasant day to each and everyone. I'm Nicolas Jr. F. Cabrejas, and I am here to report about effective written communication. So, do you have an idea what is an effective written communication? Okay, now I will introduce to you our topic, the effective written communication. So, effective written communication. But before we go to our main topic, first, we need to know what is a written communication. So, written communication involves any type of message that makes use of the written word. Written communication is the most important and the most effective of any mode of business communication. Some of the various forms of written communications that are used internally for business operations include memos and reports. Sending of messages, orders, or instructions in writing through letters, circulars, manuals, reports, telegrams, office memos, bulletins, etc. It is a formal method of communication and less flexible. So that is all about the written communication. So now you know what is written communication. All right. We'll proceed to the examples of the written communication. Those are the memos, emails, employee manuals, letters, instant messages, and faxes. So that is all about the written communication. So it is communication through written works. All right. So do you get it? Okay, we'll proceed. So in communication, in order for us to be an effective be effective in communication, so we need to be aware of our communication, the way we communicate, and through written communication, we need to know more about the written communication and how we can communicate effectively. So we have the 7 C's in communication. So do you have an idea what are the 7 C's in communication? Okay, I will introduce to you the 7 C's in communication. First, we have the clear, the concise, concrete, correct, coherent, complete, and courteous. So those are the 7 C's in communication that can help us in order that we can communicate effectively. Okay, so first we will go to clear. So what is the clear in the 7 C's of communication? Okay, when writing or speaking to someone, be clear about your goal or message. What is your purpose in communicating with this person? If you're not sure, then your audience won't be sure either. To be clear, try to minimize the number of ideas in each sentence. Make sure that it's easy for your reader to understand your meaning. So it should be clear for your reader. And people shouldn't have to read between the lines and make assumptions on their own to understand what you're trying to say. Information and actions required must be clear so that reader has the information they need to take action. So that is all about the clear in the 7 C's of communication. So when you write, it should be clear so that your reader can really understand easily what you're trying to convey to them. Okay, next we have the concise. So what is the concise in 7 C's of communication? Concise is when you're concise in your communication. You stick to the point, alright? And keep it brief. Your audience doesn't want to read 6 sentences when you could communicate your message in 3, right? Do you get the point? Why you try to take it long when you can take it in a short way, right? So when you're communicating, the way you communicate, it should be concise, or you stick to the point, what you're trying to convey to your audience. Okay, next we have the concrete. Okay, concrete is when your message is your audience has a clear picture of what you're telling them. There are details, but not too many, and vivid thoughts. And there's a laser-like focus. Your message is solid. So, right, okay. When we say about concreteness, concreteness is all about you're telling what is direct to the point, and uh, you can give a picture, a brighter picture or a clear picture in the mind of your audience, what you're trying to convey to them. They can think, oh, I know it, right? So that's the way. When you communicate with concreteness, you can give a brighter picture or a clear picture to your audience so that they can understand easily, and they have primary knowledge of what you're trying to convey to them, right? So that is all about the concrete in the 7 C's of communication. Okay, next, we need to go to correct. All right, so everybody is familiar about the correct. So when your communication is correct, it fits your audience. And correct communication is also error-free communication. So that's the very big point for us when we have a correct communication, because we're error-free. And do the technical terms you use fit your audience level of education or knowledge? So that is all about the correct. That what the technical terms you use, it should be fit your audience level of education. When you face different people with a different mindset, right? So you need to fit it what the level of educations they have. Okay, have you checked your writing or grammatical errors? Remember, spell checkers won't catch everything. Are all names and titles spelled correctly? So when you're writing in your communications, when you're writing, it should be accurate or correct, because sometimes other people or your audience cannot understand, and especially your grammar. They can't really understand if you have some grammatical error, right? So you need to be correct in your grammars and in your spelling, right? And all names and titles should be spelled correctly so that your audience can really understand. So that is about the correct in the 7 C's of communication. So next we have the coherent. So what does the coherent means in the 7 C's of communication? You have an idea? Okay, when your communication is coherent, it's logical. Okay, when we say logical, it is true. All points are connected and relevant to the main topic. And the tone flow of the text is consistent. Okay, do you understand what is coherent? When we say coherent, it is logical. It is true. And all points are connected and relevant to the main topic. Yeah, everything, your subtopics, they are connecting, interconnected. And so that your audience can clearly understand what you're trying to say. Especially you have the main topic, then your subtopics are connected with it, so that your audience can easily understand what you're trying to convey, because your idea are connected. That's easy. In 7 C's of communication, we need to be coherent. All right. Next, we have the complete. Right. Everything, I know that most of us know what is complete, right? In a complete message, the audience has everything they need to be informed and, if applicable, take action. Okay, that is about complete. Does your message include a call to action so that your audience clearly knows what you want them? Right, that is all about the complete. You need to take action in what you're trying to convey so that your audience can easily catch up what you're trying to say to them. And especially those audience that need to be to have a overall idea, overall summary of your topic. So you need to be you need to have a complete details of what you're trying to say and what you're writing in your communication, right? So that your audience can easily get the point what you're trying to say. Okay, so you need to call into action. Okay, next we have the courteous. Lastly, this is the courteous. So in writing, in a communication, a friendly, open, and honest communication, there are no hidden insults or passive aggressive tones. You keep your reader's viewpoint in mind and you're empathetic to their needs. Okay, so you need to put yourself into your audience. Try to think that you're also the audience. That when you read what you write, you have already know that what should be the reaction, the feedback of your audience. As you put yourself, you need to be empathetic so that you already know that my audience need this kind of idea. So you are aware of your audience. Being courteous is to be a friendly and honest communication. You're not telling lies or there are no insults about your audience because sometimes when we say we're not courteous about our when communicating, if we're not courteous, well, sometimes we can hurt some feelings of our audience. So we need to be aware of our audience. So it talks about courteous in the 7 C's of communication. So that is all about the 7 C's of communication. Okay. Next, we go to the variation in 7 C's of communication. So what are the variations in 7 C's of communication? Okay, do you have an idea about the variations of 7 C's in communication? Okay, I will tell you. First, we have the credible, and second, we have the creative. Being credible, okay. Does your message improve or highlight your credibility? This is especially important when communicating with an audience that doesn't know much about you. So you need to be credible, especially your as what the meaning tells that your audience, especially when your audience have no primary knowledge about you as the author, you need to be credible so that your audience will really believe or can rely to your idea, because sometimes there are some audience that I don't know more about that author, so what he trying to convey. So you need to get their attention. If you are a credible writer, then your audience can easily believe you, and they can say, I know that this is true. I can rely on this, right? So you need to be credible as a writer. So in 7 C's of communication, you need to be credible. Next, we have the creative. So what does the creative tell us about us of being creative? So creative. Does your message communicate creatively? Creative communication helps keep your audience engaged. Okay, as what I have said already, that you need to be creative in order that you can catch up the attention of your audience. Because sometimes when you don't when you are not creative in the way you communicate, Sometimes your audience fell asleep. There are times that your audience are not paying attention. So that is the importance of being creative in the way you communicate. Because when you're not creative, there are some audiences that can't follow. Uh, they are not interested. So you need to get the attention, and you need to make your audience be interested to what the idea you need to convey to them. Especially there are some audiences, if you're being creative to your in the way you communicate, there are some audiences that feel inspired, and sometimes they are being motivated, and sometimes there are some audiences that being convinced of what they want to do, just like the idea you want to convey to them. So that is all. That is the variations in 7 C's of communication. So always remember, be a credible and creative writer in the way you communicate. Okay, next. So here now we're going to the main topic. Our main topic, which is the effective written communication. So what are the tips to get the effective written communication, or to write to communicate effectively in the way we write? So first we need to get clear about our reader, or get clear about your reader. So you know your audience, as what we have said already. You need to know your audience. Get clear about your reader. And second, get clear about your outcome. So especially you need to know, you need to picture out what will come out as you communicate. Okay, you need to be aware of what will be the outcome. So you try to think it first when you're writing, and avoid jargon wherever possible. Yes, you need to avoid jargons, because jargons are informal. So you need to be formal in writing and the way you communicate. Then keep your language clear and simple. Okay, clear and simple, easy as that. Because sometimes you're going to fit your idea to the level of education of your audience. What if you're you're putting some hard topics, or some words with deeper meaning, and you can encounter that your audience are undergraduate, or not educated, or uneducated. So it sounds pity. So what we're going to do, we need to be clear and simple. Simple that they can understand. Simple words. We need to write clear and simple. And then next, we need to make it easy read and scan. Okay, make it easy read. It can be related to when you're using your language, the way you write. So you need to make your reader, they can easily read your writings or the way you communicate. Okay, lastly, proofread your documents before distribution. Okay, that is the most important thing you need to do, because sometimes you can't manage well your documents, or your written works. Some readers can see some errors. So you need to be aware of that you need to proofread your documents, or read it uh, read it, and if possible, take time to read for it. Because sometimes when you don't put time to read it, you can have some errors. So if possible, you need to read it. No. Okay. So how to make your writing communicate effectively? So effective writing allows the reader thoroughly understand everything you are saying. This is not always easy to do. Yeah. Here are a few tips that will help you so you can communicate, writing communicate effectively. So first, know your goal and state it correctly. Okay, so interconnected topics as what I have said already. So you need know your goal, what you're trying to say, what you're trying to convey. Know your goal and state it clearly, clearly as possible. Use the correct tone for your purpose. Okay, you need to have the correct tone because sometimes uh, when your tone is not accurate, it is meaningless. Okay, next, keep language simple. Okay, that's what we have said already. That your language, you need to fit your language to the level of education, your audience. Then stay on topic and keep it concise. Right? In our 7 C's communication, we need to be concise, keep it concise. Stay on topic. Okay, and do not step out or go out to the context. Okay, use active voice. Right? When you speak, use active voice because sometimes the way, the tone, the pitch, when it's not accurate to the words you're trying to say, then it also meaningless and not effective. Okay, and lastly, have someone prove with your writing. Okay, it's either be your friends or your relatives, your loved ones, or someone you know, so that he or she can give a feedback and say that there's some error in your writing, so you can correct it as soon as possible, so that you can be an error free in the way in your communication. Okay, so that is how to make your writing communicate effectively. Okay, lastly, I have some message to each and every one of you as a student or as a teacher. So we need to practice different types of written communication. So that is the advice that I can give to you because there are many types of written communication, including emails, memos, business letters, blogs and websites, press release, and more. So those are the things that we need to practice the way we communicate because some of those are our daily lives doings. So there are some teachers, our teachers doing the memos, uh, business businessman or anyone who do the business, they have the business letters. Okay, emails. All of us knows emails, email box, right? Blogs and websites, press releases, and more. So especially all of us know about it and we're doing it. So we need to practice different types of written communication so that we can communicate effectively and practice writing a variety of documents to improve your written communication skills like anything else. Becoming a great writer takes practice. Okay, so always remember that we need to have a practice because some others says that experts don't start as experts. because they starts from the low up to the highest. Okay, so always remember that no one is perfect. So some others says that practice makes perfect, but we know that in this world there are no perfect, right? So all we need to do is to practice so that we can learn more, we will know more, and especially we can communicate effectively the way we write so that we can be a productive one in our lives, the way we communicate to other people or whoever we are facing in our lives, in our daily lives. We face different people, so all we need to do is to be uh, an effective communicator. Okay, so that is all about the effective written communication. So once again, thank you and God bless us all.